Well, good morning. I'm Mark Martin, Superintendent of Meade County Schools, and we are a medium-sized school district in Kentucky, just west of Louisville, Kentucky, and west of the large Fort Knox Army military base. We're right on the Indiana border, and we sit on the Ohio River, about 5,000 students annually, depending on the health of Fort Knox, 50% free reduced lunch. So let me tell you a little bit about our journey with Studer. This is my 5th year as superintendent. I started in the spring of 2020, and this is our 5th year with Studer. We were the 4th district in Kentucky to sign on with Studer, and then a lot of districts followed after we did. And I was asked by many colleagues, what's Studer? Why Studer? I would simply say in my own words that Studer elevates who you are, and Studer helps you execute the dream of who you want to be. Studer has helped us connect all stakeholders to our purpose. And I think for the health of any organization, no matter what field, having all stakeholders connected to their purpose, parents, employees for us, students, that gives your ceiling a higher capability of being successful. So 3 celebrations for us. We just completed our first cycle of strategic priorities this past summer, a 3-year cycle. And we have so many celebrations, I'll give you 3. Number 1, trust and transparency. In 2020, when I became superintendent, our vice chair of our board, Ms. Dana Flaherty, said we have to improve the trust between leaders, employees, parents alike. We had a we-they type of culture. As evidenced through our surveys that we've given out the last 3 years, we've seen tremendous growth. We've seen we need to be more transparent with finances and how that's done through our employees. We need our employees to trust the decision, or our parents to trust the decisions that we're making. So I'll talk about some strategies that helped us get there. Number 2, staffing. Just like many of you, we're in an era where there's a shortage of staff. We were experiencing that just 5 years ago. Yes, it's still a challenge for us, but we have all of our positions filled. We have applicants for hard-to-fill positions like science, math, special education, and I attribute that to some of the structures we'll talk about in a moment. And then finally, a culture of learning. Here's what that means to me. I believe there's a continuum. I believe there's a culture for learning, which we've had the whole 11 years I've been in Meade County Schools, that all means all. All students can learn. We have that hope. Every organization has to have hope, but hope's not a strategy. Now we have a hardwired process for a culture of learning. And one of the best results that we've had in recent years, the last 2 years, we have had 0 identified gaps from the federal government and from our state on our achievement scores for students that are minority, students that are free reduced lunch, and students with disabilities. We're known for our gap closure, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the conclusion. But those 3 right there, those celebrations, we've had consistent test scores for many years, probably even before I came to Meade County. But we've been really intentional about how do we best serve those vulnerable students. So 2 strategies that have really helped us accomplish these 3 celebrations. Number 1, communication structures. We did not have 2-way communication in 2020. We developed advisory councils. We did the surveys like many of you did, and we followed up on that. We progress monitored our plan every 90 days with our district scorecard. And we developed 2-way communication structures with our parents. Our parents were telling us, we need you to simplify the experience of being a parent. We need to consolidate all these communication apps kind of into one. Well, we followed up on that, and we developed a partnership with Apogee based off our parent surveys. We call that taking the cookies, putting them on the bottom shelf, and letting people have one. We do that better than we once did, but we wouldn't have known if we didn't have 2-way communication structures. Yesterday, I loved listening to the Oxford, Mississippi superintendent. I believe it was Mr. Roberson. He talked about telling your story on social media. I highly encourage you to go to the Meade County Schools Facebook page. Our assistant superintendent, Mark Adams, has done an awesome job telling our Green Wave stories. We're the Meade County Green Waves, and we are going back and connecting people back to their purpose and taking legendary employees and telling about their experience and their why as we celebrate public education in Meade County Schools. Our second strategy that's been imperative to our culture of learning and our success with gap closure is vertical and horizontal alignment. We're a 1 large high school, 1 large middle school district. We want to be tightly aligned from preschool to pathways. We don't want to be 5 fingers dangling in the wind. We want to be 1 fist packing a punch for kids every single day. So now our teachers, through surveys and two-way communication, are telling us we need a professional learning process, not a professional development event. So now we are having vertical alignment meetings, horizontal alignment meetings throughout the district. We have all of our third grade teachers getting together throughout the school year. We have all of our 7th through 12th grade content teachers getting together throughout the school year. We do not want a culture of unhealthy competition where this elementary school is competing against that elementary school. We want to be a true district PLC. And that intentionality has caused a more equitable experience for all of our students and helped us elevate our achievement and make sure we're closing those gaps. As far as the next step, you'll see that's our former strategic priority cycle that we just completed last summer. And we're still proud of that. But as I kind of mentioned yesterday during Janet Pilcher's session, one of our next steps is making sure we cascade the scorecard work to the school and department level. So we're going to unveil our new strategic priority cycle this coming March with the help of our coach, Dee Dee Ashby, who's been with us every step of the way on this improvement journey. And then we're going to expect our principals and department leaders by May of 2025 to have their version of that. Okay, that to me is that continuum of culture for improvement versus where we're going next, which is culture of improvement as we mature as now a 5th-year partner with Stewart Education. So those are some next steps for us. Very quick mention, Close the Gap Kentucky. If you want to learn more, go to closethegapkentucky.com. Before the pandemic, when I was the director of special education, we had over 800 visitors from 61 school districts in the calendar year before the pandemic about what we do strategically and culturally with our students with disabilities. And since the pandemic, we now host districts on a year-long journey with us. We have collaborated with 18 school districts and Western Kentucky University and the University of Louisville, learning what we do strategically for all students, not just students with disabilities. And I'll close with this. I'm gonna steal a Pat Greco line, because I think so much of her. Because Pat doesn't walk on water, but she knows where the stones are. She's pretty sharp. And I want this to be, when my day's done in Meade County Schools, you can't improve what you can't define, and you can't improve what you can't measure. And that's the continuous improvement journey that we're all on. We're not chasing test scores in Meade County Schools. We're chasing a process for preparing all students for a quality life. And that's that system, that cyclical process that we all desire. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you for the opportunity.